Yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to my podcast. I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9. And we're going to talk about is school a scam? And I mean grade school to college, man. Is it a scam? And what I'm going to say about that is yes, it is a scam. To me, it's a scam, especially college. This is geared more towards college. Know what I mean? But it's all a scam. School, college, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I really have, I really like trade school. You know what I'm saying? I believe that we need more kids taking up trades than just to go to college and be picking up majors that make no sense, or you know what I'm saying, that they can't use when they even get out of college. But I'm going to tell you why I believe that school is a scam. And the reason why I believe school is a scam is this: school and college get you prepared for two things. School and college get you prepared for jail, or they get you prepared for to be an employee. Never a boss, never an owner, but an employee. Now, some people like being employees. You know what I mean? Some people like working for a company for 80 plus years. You know what I'm saying? And 2 years before they die, they retire. You know what I mean? And they can live the last 2 years of their life, I guess, comfortably. You know what I mean? And they got your pension coming in if you got a career, because there's a difference between a job and a career. You know what I mean, a job is just a job. You can get a job anywhere, or a career is somebody who's a judge, a lawyer. You know what I mean? State trooper. Those are careers. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have careers. A lot of people have jobs. You know what I'm saying? But when you're dealing with grade school and college, it's a setup to me personally. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, people used to teach their own kids. You know what I mean? People used to homeschool their kids. You know what I'm saying? And then, the government found a way to, make public education the thing to put your kids in. And there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you homeschool your child's more likely to become a business owner. You dig what I'm saying? That's why back in the day, we had so many business owners back in the day. People who wanted to own their own business. A lot of people didn't want to work for somebody. I mean, you had people who did want to work at 9 to 5 or whatever, but most people back in the day wanted to do their own thing. So the government had to find a way to curb that. You dig? So this is where public education comes in. Now, I'm not saying that public education is all bad. It's just half bad and half false. From history, it's a lie. You know what I mean? Everything you taught in public education is pretty much a lie. Even down to the mathematics, you know what I'm saying? Is a lie. But I'm not going to even get into that part of that. You know what I mean? What I'm going to get into is that, it's all a setup for you to either go to jail. They're preparing you to go to jail or to be an employee. Never a boss. You know what I'm saying? They put these, it's brainwashing. You know what I'm saying? It's brainwashing. Grade school all the way up into college is all brainwashing. It's all brainwashing. Brainwashing you to be a worker bee. You know what I'm saying? Or to be an inmate. I'm going to break it down to you. You know what I'm saying? When you're in grade school, what do you have to do? You have to get up early in the morning. Know what I mean? You have to get up and get dressed. You know what I'm saying? And you have to eat breakfast before you go to school, if you got time to eat breakfast. And you see how it's preparing you to be either an inmate or an employee. What do you do today when you go to work? You get up early in the morning. If you have time, you eat breakfast. You know what I'm saying? And what happens when you are late for school in grade school? You go to do what? You go to, if I can remember, you go to detention, right? Or you get written up, right, by the principal. What happens What happens when you are late from work? You either getting written up by your boss or your manager. And how many written ups do you get before you're let go? Was it three pink slips or three slips or something like that? If I can remember. Know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing you learned in grade school all the way up until you graduate from college. You dig? So they preparing you to be a worker bee. Now, the flip side of that, if you are somebody who's on the other side of the tracks who wants to go against the law and you want to do something illegal, then this is how school is perceived. You know what I'm saying? This is how they training you to be an inmate. You dig? Now you have a warrant. You have the warrant. Not the warrant, but the guy who runs the jail is I forget the guy who runs the jail. You know what I'm saying? The top dog of the COs, the warrant or something like that. Now you have the principal in grade school. Now I mean, when you get in trouble, you go to the what? The principal. When you get in trouble and you go to jail, you go to the CEO or the guy who's over the CEOs. I forgot his name. The warrant. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. In jail, you got to get up early. You know what I mean? Somebody's telling you to get up early. You know what I'm saying? To get up and somebody's telling you when to wash and shower. Same thing in school. Somebody's telling you. Somebody's got to tell you when to get up, which is your parents. You know what I mean? And then when you get to school, you got to raise your hand to go do what? To use the bathroom. Same thing in jail. You got to get permission to go use the bathroom and shower. And you know what I mean? It's the same thing. It depends on what side of the track you want to fall up under. You know what I mean? But it's all a scam, man. It's all brainwashing. You know what I mean? You know how many kids that go to college end up in debt after they get out of college? Well, at least 30,000 debt after they get out of college. So it's all a setup, man. It's all a setup for you to be in debt, to be a debtor slave. You know what I'm saying, to the system, because this whole system is based off of debt. You know what I mean? The more debt you have, the more things you can accumulate. How backwards is the system? You know, when you had people like Mansa Musa, who ran the Mali Empire, know what I mean? He based his economy off true assets, which was gold. And not only was he rich, but the poorest of the poorest people in his kingdom, you know what I'm saying, were rich. You know what I mean? And his kingdom flourished for years, hundreds of years. It flourished. Know what I mean? Because they were locking down on, you know, all the imports of food and all that. You know what I'm saying? All the food, the barley, all that. He had that on lock, man. He had that on lock. You know what I mean? He was the main source of food. You know what I mean? It was in Africa. So now, back to my point. So that's college is a scam, man. You know what I'm saying? You go to college 4 years or whatever, you come out and you're in debt. Now you're in debt to somebody. Now you have what they call it. You have somebody who you have to call your master. You know what I'm saying? Which is whoever you are in debt to. And so now you got to bust your butt. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people come out of college, they got hundreds of thousands of dollars. They are hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. You know what I mean? And, you know, student loans, you know, you can't, and that's crazy too. You can't file bankruptcy and get rid of a student loan. They make it so difficult to, you know what I mean? It's a trap, you know? And I remember my ex-wife, I remember her saying something to the fact of, you know, before we finally made it official that we will no longer be together, I remember her making a point that I should go back to school. See the brainwashing? You know what I'm saying? See the brainwashing in that? Now, I'm looking at the situation. She's like $50,000 in debt. from going to college. Now she's telling me that I should go to college and get a degree, you know what I mean, and be in debt like her. And I looked at her, I was like, yo, you crazy? I'm not going to college and be in debt like you. And she thought, you know what I mean? Like I was crazy for even saying that. But see, that's the brainwashing that they have done with the American people. It's brainwashing. They have brainwashed people and made people believe that college is the answer. And they did a very good job of that. You know what I'm saying? They did a very good job through that. Through TV, you know what I'm saying? Through commercials, through, different TV shows like the Cosby's. Different World was another one where they were pushing that whole college, BS. They did a lot of marketing behind, getting people to go to college. And I seen it from the jump, man. I was like, I am not going, because you don't really need to go to college in order to learn what they learn in college. All you gotta do is get the books. But somebody says that you have to have a degree or certificate in order to do a certain job. You know what I mean? That puts limitations on who can do the job. You know what I'm saying? So, certain fields you do need a certificate or a degree, like being a doctor. You know what I mean? I think you do need certain certificates or degrees if you're trying to, help people, in that field. Certain jobs I think you do need. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these jobs, these labels, you know what I'm saying? These labels, these jobs, they don't need no degrees, man. You know what I'm saying? You can get the same material and books online and learn the same thing that you learn in college, man. If you have the drive and ambition to learn on your own, you can learn all that same stuff at home. I mean, college, first of all, in countries like Canada, college is free. Why isn't college free in America? Why? Why do you even have to pay to go to another person's institution? You know what I'm saying? And learn how to be a worker bee. It should be free. College should be free, and healthcare should be free. Healthcare should be free in America, and we spend all this money on wars. We spend all this money, we give all this money to Ukraine and all that. You know what I mean? We spend all this bread. You know what I'm saying? But we got to pay for college. We got to go into debt, $50,000, $100,000 in order to finish school, on to learn an occupation. I think it's BS, man. That's why I never fell into that trap. You know what I'm saying? It's a trap. I knew it was a trap back then. You know what I'm saying? I read this book, man. What was the name of that book, man? I think it was called College is a Scam. And I'm trying to remember this book, but basically the book was talking about, how college should be free and how it's a scam. You know what I'm saying? Because just the simple fact that, you have to pay for college. You know what I mean? And then, the book materials and stuff is overly priced. The books. I remember because my sister, you know what I mean? She went to college, and I remember how expensive her books were. Even the used books were very expensive. You know what I'm saying? And I just was thinking to myself, man, I'm happy that she's going to school, but it's just like when she's all done, she's gonna owe so much bread. She's gonna be in debt for at least 10 years paying this money back, man. You know what I mean? Like, again, college should be free in America. Like I said, we got money for everything else, but that's they don't want people to be intelligent. Man. They don't want people to, you know what I'm saying, have that luxury and freedom of, having free education. Yeah, they'll give you public schooling. You know what I'm saying? They want to continue to indoctrinate you with their systematic system. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep indoctrinating you. You know what I mean? Keeping you as a worker and not as a owner. You know what I mean? To me, the ultimate goal in life is to be the owner of things. You know what I'm saying? Not technically the owner, because Rockefeller said, let me not own any let me not own anything, control everything, which means putting things in a trust. You know what I'm saying? Putting all your assets in a trust and controlling it from the trust. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother story, man, because I'm still learning about trust. You know what I'm saying? But the ultimate goal, but still, the ultimate goal is to be the owner, man. Like, you know what I mean? I always wanted to be an owner. You know, my grandpops, he started off working for somebody, and then when he got his money up and got his own tractor trailers, his truck, he had people drive his truck and make deliveries. I mean, he didn't do that anymore towards the end of his life. Um, he owned, you know what I'm saying, a corner store. He owned rental properties. You know what I'm saying? He owned a laundromat at one time. Like, he wanted to be his own man. And excuse me. And that's the difference today with people. People don't want to be their own boss. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to own anything. They don't want to do anything on their own. You know what I mean? And it could be because of a financial situation, but like I said, there's ways around everything. You know what I mean? There's help out there if you need to get funding for, you know, if you have a business idea, or, you know, you can start a GoFundMe, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's many ways to do it now. It's not what it used to be. Like, back in the day, it used to be very difficult to start a business or anything like that back in the day. 80s and 90s, I'm talking. You know what I mean? So it's not difficult anymore, but everything is in reach. You just, do you want to reach it? That's all up to you. But that's what I mean by school, man. School gets you prepared to be a worker. You know what I mean? And you can tell how, you know, people are brainwashed is when someone's working at a corporation and they ask them that employee a question. You will always notice an employee will say, well, they'll say something like, to the fact of, you know, a customer asking, well, how many burgers do you serve in a day? And the employee will go, well, our company will serve 10 burgers in a day. This is just an example, but they put themselves as they are part owner of the company when they're actually not. They're just an employee. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm trying to say? They'll say stuff like, well, we are opening at a certain hour, rather than this company opens up, and you see the difference. Like, you know, see how the brainwashing has become so huge. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my point across, but what I'm trying to say is they got people brainwashed. You know what I mean? You can do your own thing. Now, there's people out there that, you know, are happy when working, like I said, working a 9-to-5 job. You know, they got benefits and they got their 401k, and, you know, there's people that are happy working at 9-to-5. You know what I mean? So, you know, and for this matrix to continue to run, you got to have some people that are willing to work at these corporations, which some people are. Some people don't have the mental capacity to be a boss. Some people don't want to be a boss. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want to be owners. You know what I'm saying? Some people are happy with, you know, getting up and working for somebody. You know what I mean? But I just never been that person that was happy asking another person for work, or, you know, having another person have my livelihood in their hands. You dig what I'm saying? And you can see that, you know, a lot of these corporations are failing now. You know what I mean? Just look at all the people who, you know, went and got college degrees that can't even use those degrees. And now you stuck with all this debt, 30,000, 40,000, 20,000 after college, and now you can't even get a job with that degree. So that's why I'm saying college is a scam today. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole concept of college and the whole concept of you know, going to school and all that is outdated now. Why is it outdated? Because of the internet. Like, you don't need college anymore. Like, all that stuff That you, like I said, all that stuff that you're going to learn in college, you can learn online for free. Like college is way outdated. College should be free now because of the flood of information on the internet. That alone should make college free. You dig what I'm saying? If you on the internet a lot like I am, researching and stuff like that, you know where to go to find information on how to learn certain things. That's how I learned a lot of stuff that I know right now by going on YouTube and TikTok and know what I mean? Mainly was YouTube for a long time. I just recently started messing around with TikTok like a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? My queen, she was really into TikTok. She used to send me videos because I had an account, but I never really used it. You know what I mean? I just had no interest in going on TikTok and messing around with it. But she would send me videos and stuff like that. I always thought TikTok was some silly stuff, like, you know what I mean? Some silly, goofy stuff. So I didn't want to waste my time and, messing around with that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I never messed around with TikTok, but, I checked it out one day and I checked it out a couple of days in a row, and I realized that there's a lot of vital information on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's BS. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's BS, but it's a lot of information on TikTok. I learned a lot of stuff from TikTok. You know what I mean? And YouTube too. I learned a lot of stuff on YouTube. Definitely on marketing online and other business ventures and stuff like that. But the whole concept of college, like I'm saying, is the whole concept of college is outdated, man. Like, you know what I mean? You don't even need school anymore. You know what I'm saying? Not college. Like grade school, maybe so. You know what I'm saying? You do need to know how to read and stuff. If your parents can't, they don't have the time. That's the thing too. They keep your funds and they keep your purchasing power so low that you got to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to make it. And that really messes up the household because you don't have time to, if you wanted to homeschool your kids, you can't because you got to work all these hours and jobs in order to keep food on the table. So, they do a lot of things, put a lot of roadblocks in your way so you can't teach your kids. So you have to put them in public schooling. You know what I'm saying? You have to put them in daycare. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things they do on the slick side to make sure that your kid goes to public schooling. You know what I mean? But me personally, I was never a fan of school. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those kids that would just study for the test, ace the test, you know what I mean? But the rest of that stuff, I did not care. Because I knew it was all BS, you know what I'm saying? From history, it's all BS. All that stuff is BS. It's all BS. It's all BS. Just think about all the stuff you learned in school, right? Do you even use a lot of that stuff you learned in grade school and all the way up to college? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can't even, a lot of people with degrees from college degrees can't even get a 9 to 5. Just think about all the stuff you learned in grade school. That was nonsense. Do you use that today? No, you don't. Know what I mean? Not saying it's something that we don't need. I guess it depends on your situation. You know what I'm saying? If you're a single parent, it would be hard to homeschool if you have to work and all that. But you see how they took away the father out the home and made the women have to hold things down. You know what I'm saying? And made it more difficult for you to even decide if you want to put your kid in school or to homeschool. You know what I'm saying? And see how they pulled the L move and did that. Once they took the father out the home, now it's really difficult for somebody to homeschool their child. See, if both parents in the home, you got a lot of maneuvering to do. You can 2 incomes. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that can be done that you want to do if you want to homeschool your kids. That's what I'm just trying to say. This is difficult when you're a single parent. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on the situation. But me personally, overall, I was never a fan of school. Never wanted to go to college. You know what I mean? I said, the hell with that. Why would I want to go in so much debt? That don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm already working with nothing. Why would I want to go into college and work with more nothing? You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm not going to do that when I could just, learn a lot of stuff on my own. I was always a person that, pick up a book and read and try to learn on my own. So, I mean, it's whatever. But that's what I love about the internet. You know what I'm saying? It made the playing field even. You don't need none of that stuff anymore. You know what I'm saying? You don't need none of that stuff. If you can learn about, how to podcast and learn how to share your information, know how to market your podcast, learn how to market your YouTube channel, you good. Like, you don't need no college, man. People making crazy bread off of content. You know what I'm saying? You don't need that stuff no more. People making bread off content. People making bread off, people got clothing stores, you know what I'm saying? Online clothing stores, t-shirt stores. Like, people getting it, man. They're not thinking about no college. Now, I mean, some of the most wealthiest people, richest, wealthiest people in the world, man, never stepped foot in their school. A lot of them dropped out of school. You dig what I'm saying? People who are millionaires, billionaires, dropped out of school. So what does that tell you about school and college? All you need to know is the basics: how to read, how to add up. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things you use today. You still need to know how to read. So to a certain point, you do need to go to school. You need to learn math. You know what I mean? Basic math. You don't have to be crazy algebra and all that crazy nonsense. If somebody who looking into being a builder, building homes and stuff like that, you might want to take your math a little bit further. Or if you want to be an engineer or something like that, know what I mean? You need to know advanced math. But, what do we use today? The two things you use today is your signature, reading, and basic math. That's it. That's it. All that other stuff you learned really was garbage. Trash. Know what I mean? And I'm not knocking school. I'm not saying don't go to school if you want to go to school. Go to school if you want to go to school. I'm just talking about for me and what I think. This is my opinions. You know what I'm saying? It might not be your opinions. You might love school. You might have a school that, you've been dying to go to since you were 3 years old. You heard? So don't take my opinion and, say, you know what, the hell with it. Because Jupiter and I said that, you know what, I'm going to get me a t-shirt printed up and say, no more school. No more school. Let's get a gunshot with that one, baby. But no, on the real, man, to me personally, I think it's all a scam. I think it's just something to get people to be brainwashed. I think it's just something to make people worker bees or inmates. You know what I mean? Because that's the way it's set up. Jail is set up just like grade school. You know what I mean? And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Same thing you're doing to go to a 9 to 5. Same thing you had to do when you were in school. The same thing. A lot of things you're doing to get locked up in jail are the same things you were doing that they were prepping you to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, man. But yo, man, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, one more thing before I go, man. I wanted to read this little I almost forgot, man. This little piece of article, man, about college and debt. You know what I'm saying, with the students. Before I go, my bad. So this article, man, this college debt is one of the largest financial burdens on young people face today. So I'm gonna read a little article, a little clip, little joint of it. So college debt is one of the most crippling financial burdens young people face today. What's more, nearly 40% of student loans borrowed don't finish their degrees within 6 years. Did you hear that? 40%. That's almost half of the people who go to college don't even finish their degrees within 6 years. 40%. So let's continue on. I'm just going to read this a little bit, man. That's according to the whole Center of College Community and Justice. So they end up with thousands of dollars in student debt and no degree to show for it. One of those borrowers is a guest. I guess this was an interview this lady did, Isabella. I can't say her last name, but that's 40%, man. They don't even finish. So I know it's just a scam, man. You know what I'm saying? They know that you're not, most of you guys are not going to finish college. They know because of all the roadblocks they put in front of you that you don't see, that's invisible. You know what I mean? Especially so-called African Americans, we have the toughest situation out of anybody. You know what I mean? Financially, you know, most of that's probably African Americans. Probably, know what I'm saying? Having, being put in a situation where they got to drop out. So that's what it is, man. But yo, that's all I'm gonna say, man. You know what I'm saying? 40% don't even make it, don't even graduate. You know what I mean? 40%. 40%. That's almost half. That's crazy. But yo, that's it, man. That's all I wanted to say, man. To me, it's all a scam. But that's my take, man. You know what I'm saying? Please share this with everybody. You know what I mean? To help my podcast grow, guys. I really appreciate it. But I am your gracious host, Jupiter 9, and I want to say peace and love to everybody. Take care. One.